So hey everyone, welcome back and I hope you guys are doing well. So today we are going to solve another contest. Like in this particular video we are going to discuss both like weekly contest 503 and the bi-weekly 183, right? So we are starting with the problem and talking about the problems. So in the weekly contest the problem are pretty easy. Like the first two problem are pretty easy. It's basically for a beginner, but if you are not able to solve, don't get demotivated because there may be like there is still time for you to actually learn a lot of stuffs. But yeah, the problems are really good and really easy, not that much difficult. And talking about the bi-weekly, so there is one problem, like second problem is quite interesting. You have to learn a lot of stuff from that particular thing, right? So let's start with the weekly contest. This one is the first problem, and this one is quite easy, like which is also marked as easy, right? So let's see what we have to do, right? So you are given a sorted in integer array nums and an integer k. Got it. Return an array such that distinct element appear at most k time while preserving the relative order. Got it. So what we have to do in this particular problem, right? We have to like if in this array we are getting one particular element multiple times, so we only want that particular element to appear at most k times, right? At least k times. And while making this operation we also need to take care of the order as well, right? So if you see, 1 is appearing 3 times, 2 is appearing 2 times, and 3 is appearing 1 time. What we want every distinct element to be appeared 2 times, right? So we changes it to like this, right? So this is what they are asking us to do. So this is pretty easy, like what we have to do, right? If I like explain over here there, right? So this is the case. So what we can do, right? So somewhere we can like how we can make sure that we are getting that particular element more than once, right? For that we need some sort of counting and we need some sort of map, right? So what we can do, as if you see, the constraints are pretty low, like the nums length is max 100 and the nums I is also 100. So what we can do, we can create an array of size of 100, right? One Why? Because we can do what we can do through this particular array, we actually get to know that what is the frequency of the current element which we are processing, right? And while processing, what we can do, for example, let's say we are at the first, so we simply get go into this array and increment the count as 1, right? When we get another 2 3, right? Same if we go to the second index and increment the value as 1, then 2, and same for the third, right? And increment it like this, right? And what we have to do over here is, while incrementing the value, what we can do, we just simply check if it is exceeding k or not. If it is not exceeding k, then we will include it in our answer, otherwise we not going to include it in our answer. So let's see the code. This is a easy problem, this is not too much complicated and whatever you're gonna say, right? So this is result. Why I have taken it like as a map instead of creating a map which is going to take off on time, and I have created an array through which we can access elements and perform operation in over one time, right? And after that I'm just incrementing the value and I'm checking if it is coming under the constraint, it is going to be part of my answer, otherwise I'm excluding that, means I'm not going to take it inside my answer. So this is the first problem, right? So this is quite easy. Let's move to the second problem. This is also pretty easy, like it's a beginner level problem because you are just going to learn about the if statement and the conditional rendering, like conditional looping and all the stuff, right? So I don't have to go to the accelerator to explain you, but let's just read the problem statement. You are given a string password. Got it. The strength of the password is calculated based on the following rules: 1 point for each distinct lowercase letter a to z. Got it. 2 points to each distinct uppercase letter a to z. 3 points for each distinct, 5 points for each distinct character, right? So what we have to do over here, right? So let's say in this particular string, like just see the first string, that we have this particular string. So this distinct character, we just only care about the distinct one, right? Because our string contain multiple duplicate as well, but we are only going to include inside our answer those are distinct, right? So you see, a capital A1 and exclamation mark is coming one time, then we have calculated the value based on the point which is mentioned in the problem statement. And if you see b is coming twice, even b is coming twice, we are not going to add it in in our answer because we only care about the distinct one, right? So if you see the code, so code is also similar like what the problem is saying. So what I have been doing over here is I have created an asset. Why I have created an asset? Because I don't want to include the duplicate ones, right? You can also create like two different like array of 26 size for the lower and for upper and then for special character. But instead of creating a lot of things like just to reduce the code, I just created a hashtag which will help me to make sure that whatever the element I'm processing is not coming twice, right? And after that I'm just only considering those elements which I haven't seen through asset, and if it is not, then I'm just getting the value of particular character. And how? If it is coming in this range, the value is 1. If it is coming in this range, the value is 2. If it is coming in this range, its value is this. Otherwise it is always be a special character, right? So this is what I have been doing over here, and after that I'm just inserting that particular character so that I don't include it in upcoming, like in future. And after that I'm just running the result. So this is the second problem, which is quite beginner friendly, right? So this is working as well. So quite good problems. We will learn a lot of if you are just starting out. So yeah, just solve this problem and enjoy. Let's talk about biweekly 183. This one is the first problem. It is easy. It is actually an easy problem, right? But you are given an integer array nums. In one operation you can choose any two distinct integers and swap numsi and numj. Return an integer ignores the number of operation required to move all zeros to the end of the array. So what we have to do, we just have to move all the zeros to the end of the array, right? So this is the main operation behind this particular problem. So how we can go about it, right? How we are actually going to think about this problem. Let's see over here. So this is the array, and what we want all the zeros to be at the end. So what we can do, we can simply like somehow we know while processing, somehow we should know that if I'm getting 0 at my current position, like moving from left to right, so I also need to take care of that whatever the element is on the right or the end of the array should not be 0, it should be non-zero element, right? If it is, then I'm simply swap that element and move towards it, right? So it is simply like the behavior of two-pointer approach right? So if you see the code is also similar, like we are just using a two-pointer approach over here. So what I have done, why I have been doing this is, right, because there may be possibility that at n-1 or at any index it already a 0, right? So I don't want that, because if 0 is already there, I don't want to swap that particular element, because it is just going to increase the number of count of the operations. So that's what I have been doing. I'm just moving my j pointer to non-zero index so that it will help me to swap element and decrease the number of count, right? If you see, I have been just doing this. If current element is 0 and the jth position doesn't have 0, then I'm simply swapping those elements because I want my 0 to be at the end of the array. And after that I'm just incrementing j and I and j and count as well. And if nums of I is not non-zero, then simply incrementing my I, otherwise decrementing my j, right? So this is what is the problem, like this is the what the thing is look like, and it is also working fine. Let's move to the second problem. This is quite good. You have to think a lot. This is a real good problem. So what they are saying that you are given an integer array nums and an integer k. In one operation you can increase or decrease any elements of num by 1. An array is called modular alternating if there exist two distinct integer x and y, got it, such that for every even indices nums of I mod k is equal to x, for every odd indices nums of I mod k is equal to y. Return the minimum number of operations required to make nums modulo alternating, right? So this is what they are saying, that this is our array, and what we have to do, like we let's take this one, right, and this is the array, and for every index, for example, let's say I taken a x as 1 and y as 2. So what I want for every for every even indices, if I'm calculating the mod, then it should be equal to x, and for every odd indices, if I'm doing nums k, should be equal to y. So this is what we have to approach and we have to solve in this particular problem, right? So this is the main idea. So how can we go about it? So right, so initially what I thought about is that if you see, why not we can take count the frequency of most upcoming, most coming remainder, and then for the rest one we simply exclude that. But that's not work, because here we are actually taking care about the number of changes we require, right? We don't require talk about the frequency, right? So this is not going to work. So what we can do, as constraints are pretty low, we can try out every possible values of x and y, because x and y always be less than k. So we can try out all the possible values of x and y, and for that we just simply check, right, if whatever the remainder is coming and what the remainder we want, right, and how much the difference is required, right? So if you see the code, the main idea behind it. So see, I'm iterating over all the possible value of x and all the possible value of y. If both are equal, continue, because we want distinct x and y. And after that, I'm just iterating over my array, and here I have created a find out current remainder, and I'm checking if my current element is even or odd, right? So based on that, I'm just I want the target remainder, right? And after that, I'm calculating remainder minus target, which means the difference required to convert the remainder to x, right? So this is what the difference is, and how I'm actually calculating the cost. Cost is going to be calculated with the difference and with the k minus difference. Why? Because the value of k is going to be if you see okay, so the difference and the value is going to be k minus different, because this is the difference which we require to move or convert a remainder to x. But you know that there is a cyclic rotation between the indices and between the values, between the remainders. So that's why we are doing k minus difference. That will gives us the cost, right, while iterating over all these particular possible values. Inside the answer, we are calculating the minimum answer because we want the minimum, right? So if you are not able to understand this particular part, then do watch the video again. Do use your pen and paper. You will actually get to know a lot of stuff, right? So this is about the second problem of the biweekly contest. Initially, I also thought of using a different approaches, but I ended up doing a wrong submissions. But yeah, you should try, because it gives you a lot of idea about what other possibility can be possible. So this is it about the today contest and the solutions. I hope you are able to understand. If you are able to understand, do let me know in the comment section. And if you want any other stuff, another video of any other topic, do let me in the comment section. I love to make video on that as well. And for till that, bye bye and take care.